Hello everyone, so I'm here today to do a little bit of a more chatty video because I saw a video by another content creator a few days ago, and she's not in booktube or anything. She's a violinist, I think, and she was talking about the ways that uh, YouTube has changed her life despite having not so many subscribers. And she said under 500 subscribers. I have over 500, but just like I think at the moment it's like 513 or something. So I think it still relates to me and my channel. I have had these channels since more or less the beginning of the pandemic, so it's coming up to 4 years soon. And I mean, obviously, I'm not as successful as other content creators that get like to 1,000 subscribers in their first year. Um, but yeah, I have learned some things about YouTube, and YouTube does have effects in my life that I thought it would be interesting to talk about. So this is what this video is about. Let me know if you're also in the same train, or what are your thoughts on kind of like YouTube in general. But yeah, so as I said, I started about almost 4 years ago. And I remember, because I was participating as a judge in the Booktube Prize, and I wanted to do like a recap of my first round. And it was the pandemic, so I had nothing to do. I was at home all the time. So yeah, it felt like a good moment to start. And now I am in a very different place now in my life. Um, I, of course, we are not in a pandemic anymore, so we are not bound to our houses. I also don't work from home anymore, and I do have a small child, so I am a lot more busy. But I think that this, at least for now, adds enough value to my life that I am finding the time to do it. Obviously less videos than when I first started, and also because I have less ideas, let's be honest. But it is a creative outlet as well, and a way to talk about things that you care about, that maybe you would not have otherwise, or I would not have otherwise. So yeah, I think that YouTube is, it is a tricky place to be, because I think it's a great place to share things. And Booktube, specifically, it's a very welcoming environment to be in. I haven't had pretty much any hate comments. I think there was one or two a little bit angry comments at some point, but they were not really hate. Like, they were pointing some points that they thought it was important, in a very angry manner, rather than dismissive kind of comments. So in that sense, I am glad that I don't have so many subscribers that hate comments happen on a daily basis. That's because I mean, I do care about the numbers, but I don't do it for the numbers. I don't have the expectation that I'm going to be monetized or anything any time soon or ever. And I recognize that my personality is not the most bubbly, crazy one that will attract people to my channel. I think, more of a thoughtful person, and I do videos that try to go a little bit more in depth into things without having the background in literature that maybe I would need to add, like a knowledgeable voice to the conversation. But I do like to think about things, so in that sense I try to make that like the more important thing on my channel. And even though I do care about views and numbers, in the sense that I like that people watch and I like that um, people are interested and come by. And sure, when I hit 500 subscribers, I was very happy. But it's not like I want to make content so that those numbers go up. I don't care enough to learn about the YouTube algorithm to make that step consciously. It's just like I do what I like, and hopefully you like it too. So yeah, I have learned that numbers do have a meaning, but are not the main uh, indicator of success in YouTube necessarily. And I am that kind of person that has hobbies that kind of rotate. So um, reading has always been a big thing for me, but like I like to try photography, and I like to try painting and drawing, and I like to do sewing and knitting and those kind of things. I like to do, but I don't stick to them as much as, for example, reading. Um, and I just find the idea of learning a new skill, that's the catch for me. The thing that I want to do, and then once I learn, it's like less interesting. And I think with YouTube, because I'm still learning, and I think there's still things that I can do with my channel. I still find these creative outlets a very interesting thing for me to explore, and it's not about uh, you know the final product as much as it's the learning process and the me learning how to express my thoughts and emotions about a certain thing. And in this particular case it's books, but in other contexts it might be something else, and it might still be very useful for me to have those skills to express myself. um, I also have been learning a lot about editing in the last 4 years, because I edit uh, my videos, and of course I had no idea about how to edit anything, and it's not like my editing is amazing, but it's something that I can learn. And this year, for example, I had the goal to learn more about how to make thumbnails and make them a little bit more interesting, and I have been playing with that a little bit, which has been very interesting to me. And maybe next year I will be more into the editing side of things and try to make things more interesting on the editing side of things. So I find that creative process very appealing, and I think that's one of the main reasons why I still do it. And of course because people watch, but yeah, a big part, I think it's because the creative process is really appealing to me, and also because as I said, I have a small child, and so the time that I have to be creative is normally when she sleeps, and she sleeps is at home, so my creative things have to be at home, and they also have to be children safe. So I cannot start making huge canvases in the middle of the living room that can fall on her, for example. And so I find that this is a very easy thing for me to do, without having to have like this huge space to do it in, or these dangerous things around her, or any of that stuff. So at this point in my life, reading and making videos about reading and editing them and trying to make them as interesting as possible is something that I can do as a hobby, and I can enjoy as a hobby, and it feels like I can express myself and be more than just like, this mother, without having to compromise on Alex's life or time with me. So yeah, that's also important to me, and that's something that YouTube gives me, and so it is again a positive thing that I get from YouTube. The not so positive side of things, I also think that YouTube has affected me in certain ways that I would like to change, but I find difficult to change, and that's like my reading habits have changed a lot, and I think it started before I started my channel, because I was watching a lot of booktube, but of course like you have certain pressures and certain projects, and when you want to make a video with certain books on it, you kind of feel pressure to read those books first, and maybe you are not so free to just pick up whatever you feel like. And that's something I'm trying to do less of and try to tackle, but it's something that happens and it continuously have to fight against. So like now it's a price season, and with that I want to read all the prices, but I don't have first the money to buy all the books at all of those prices, but also I don't have the time, and I don't have the necessarily want to read those books. I want to read those books when the list come out, and then after a month some of them I don't want to read anymore. I want to read like something light and fluffy because I had a hard week at work, and so there is a certain pressure with having a channel. Even if your viewers are not putting that pressure on you, you are putting that pressure on yourself because you have maybe a schedule that you want to follow and certain books that fit that schedule and all of that stuff. And I think that's something that a lot of booktubers might recognize, and that is something that I am actively trying to fight against, but sometimes you do get into those rabbit holes, and so we have to be very, very conscious to not do that. And I think when you have a channel that's increased, so I think that's the like most negative side that I have found with YouTube. I mean, of course, like at some point I was a little bit disappointed with my numbers and stuff, but I have that. I think I don't have a big problem with anymore. Of course, I would like it to be a little bit higher, but I don't put my self-worth on those numbers, so I think that doesn't affect me as much. But definitely the reading project kind of thing and readathons and book prices kind of FOMO is a real thing, and that's like the most negative thing that I think I found with being part of BookTube. And yeah, of course, the one thing that everybody mentions is the community and how great it is, and I agree, it's a great community. I'm not as into the community as some of people are. I just don't find the time to watch all of the videos, so I have recently gone through a lot of channels that I used to watch and I have a lot of love for, but I'm not particularly interested in the videos they're making right now, so I haven't subscribed to them. And I am in the process of like tailoring my YouTube watching more and more, which means that I'm a little bit less of a part of the community, I think, because I just don't necessarily watch the big channels that everyone watches, just because they are not exactly what I'm looking for, and I'd rather watch things that I want to watch. I probably have time to watch 2 or 3 videos a day, and that has to be the videos that I want to watch. So unfortunately, maybe I'm not as much part of the community as I could be, and that also affects my number, of course. But yeah, I think that just doesn't fit with my life right now, and that's okay. But yeah, let me know if you have any thoughts on what I'm talking about. I feel like I'm just rambling around. Yeah, I just wanted to put those thoughts out there because I think it's not something that is like talked about so much. When you have a small channel and you don't have the numbers, it seems that the numbers is the only thing that matters, but actually YouTube and BookTube in particular have affected my life in different ways that I think are also worth it, and I enjoy it, and that's why I keep doing it, right? So yeah, anyway, let me know your thoughts, and until next video, bye!